ultimately penalize the Rio Grande Valley of being able to produce anything for fans to keep up with players and teams. And I know that there are a lot of people abroad, overseas, servicemen that are keeping track and that will be keeping track of the game later tonight at Port Isabel. So rules are rules. We abide by them as best we can here on Action 4. Digital Channel 4.2 gives you the live coverage locally. Of course, the streaming is going to be streaming audio, which provides you the entertainment there.
And shout out to all the guys working hard out here, Lee and the gang. You know, they're working hard to bring you the stream, and, you know, they always do a top-notch job. I know you guys can attest to that more than I can, but, you know, just want to thank those guys for all the hard work they've done.
When I'm leaving the house at 9 o'clock, and Anwar's been at the location in Cal Allen since 7:30 this morning, getting ready for that 7:30 game, and then Lee's making a beeline to beat me up here. Yeah, there are guys working a lot, at times a lot harder than we are, just to get us a place where we can talk about a football game. Madison will kick the football off to start the second half. Here come the Sharyland Rattlers out, and once again, as expected in the first half, Armando Garza, traditionally firepower, that fire-breathing dragon kind of stuff, that valley spirit will be alive and well for the Rattlers to get this football to start the second half.
It will, and they have to take advantage of that. You know, it's not just the win, it's not just getting the ball. It's, you know, not letting this crowd get so quiet. You know, they easily outnumber the Madison side over there, which filled in nicely after the game. But, you know, they need to just go back to what they were doing to start the game.
Port Isabel later on tonight on Digital Sub-Channel 4.2. This is live coverage of Madison's Mavericks taking on the Sharyland Rattlers. Madison in those white uniforms, kind of Texas-like makeup there. And, boy, the Texas Longhorns have kind of quieted down the critics in the Big 12, have they not, fellas?
I always said Mac Brown should never be fired, but of course, you know, I don't have a good track record today.
As the Rattlers will be returning the kickoff to start the second half. Now, Kevin Narrow, they've had some big returns on the season, but right now Madison doing a real good job of containing those return men with these mid-range kicks, not necessarily short kicks.
Yeah, and again, you know, field position definitely is relevant in this football game, so it all depends on where they get this football to start this second half.
Rattlers in the passing game, 14 of 21 as a team in the first half for 170 yards. Madison Mavericks, how about this, just 81 yards in the air, but 120 on the ground, spreading it out and utilizing the strength of the 4 to 5 yard gain from their quarterback on the run. High kick, and this is a real short kick, fielded out across the 30 for the Rattlers, trying to set up some kind of return, and nothing there yet. A lot of running for very little real estate.
So here they are outside the 30-yard line. You know, let's see what they dial up. You know, they came out with an ounce of fear to start the game, and that aggressive play calling is what Ron Adame needs to get back to.
Christian Martinez on the return, and here we go with the quarterback platoon, and Lance Madden will start at quarterback, first drive of the third quarter for the Sharyland Rattlers. Madden in the first half was 2 of 4 in the passing game for 41 yards, ran the ball once for a yard, and has it first down. Pass play left side, receiver screen across the 35 to the 40-yard line. That's an 8-yard catch.
Yeah, right out of the gate, Michael Gonzalez hauling that one in, and again, they're going to go back to those quick screens, those swing routes, as they like to call them.
And they're trying to control the tempo here again, Joe. Which worked.
Madden got him for an 8-yard gain on that one. Second down, he'll scramble out, run it upfield, hit, drove forward, might get a first down.
And so again, mix and match. You know, Madden, you said, likes to tuck it and run, and it's going to be a really test of this defense, and maybe a change of pace too.
He changed the position of the chains. That's a first down. He'll run again, this time on a design quarterback keeper, dives out for about a 5-yard gain.
Great keep right there. He had the vision to take it up the seam there. As a Madison player, slow to get up.
Maverick player, slow to get up. And, you know, I see this when you see the successful plays by the Sharyland Rattlers, Armando, it's this quick hit and then quick snap and then delay, but then, run play, but off of a play action. It's keeping them guessing. When they were guessing, Mavericks were scrambling backpedaling.
Yeah, and they were able to use their athleticism, and that's what we've talked about. And, you know, I think you mentioned this earlier. You know, these are plays that they've gotten 20, 25 yards on as the norm, and they're trying to get 5, 10 yards here, but which is still good in this ball game. So they just got to, stay with the plan, stay with what's working. And so far, here near midfield, they're doing just that.
Yeah, that's what Joe said to me in the pregame rather. He said if they could just stay, a game within the game, except that they'll get 4 yards. Don't do anything out of the ordinary. And you're right. I mentioned just a couple seconds ago with Chrysler, he likes to sling it around, spread them out. Then when you get Madden in there, you get that wildcat dimension type run as the Madison player is up on his feet. So one quick point is maybe they could change of pace here. Quarterback running, then a quarterback throwing, maybe throw this defense off guard.
That was number 52 for Madison, Darius Ainsworth, a linebacker. We hope he's okay.
225-pound body that's being assisted off the field. We have seen a couple of Mavericks leave the football field but return. And so, as is the case with either team, I don't care who we're talking about. I don't want to see a player limp off the field for a final time in their high school season or at this time in a playoff game period, win or lose. We hope he does come back. Rattlers, though, with the football. Now they've got the ball near the midfield stripe. They'll mark that down at the 49, which means that's a 6-yard gain on that last carry by Lance Madden. And so second and a manageable 4 to go for the Rattlers. Wind at their back, trailing 17-7 in the ball game. And as soon as they blow this play to start, Madden is ready to receive the snap. 3 receivers left. It's an empty backfield. 5 receivers set. He wants to throw. Quick pass left side. Caught. And inside Maverick territory. Short gain by Daniel Morales.
And again, Joe, that's one thing that we're going to go back to. They can accept the 4, accept the 6, and maybe they can finally break open a big play.
Mavericks gambled that time. They nearly picked that.
And that was a heads-up run by him to pivot outside instead of coming inside.
Third down 3, and Madden going to run, and he's going to be brought down shy of a first down. Decision time for Ron Adami.
You brought up this scenario. Do you go for it? Well, obviously you're not going to kick a 69-yard field goal, so let's see what they do. A hard count like Kevin said, that would be a good strategy right now.
4th and a yard earlier, they were hit with a penalty and had to punt. This time they'll go for it. Pass play, left side, complete first down as they get it to Laredo Guerra.
Yeah, the blitz was coming from looked like to be the weak side, and just in the nick of time, Lance Madden got rid of that one and a big first down completion.
That's the best pass play of the game for Madden. And we've got another injury on the play. One of the Madison Mavericks comes up hurt on that one.
But love to show confidence from Ron Adame. He knows the importance of this drive, Joe. You can tell.
That by far was the best throw by Lance Madden. Knew pressure was coming, had to complete it on 4th down. First down play here, he wants to throw again. Ton of time. Over the middle. Caught. About a 6-yard gain, and you're right, Kevin Narrow. They're accepting these little short dinks and dunks for 5 and 6 yards.
And again, they're exploiting that middle of the defense. It was a big hole in the first quarter, the second quarter, and now Madden's starting to find his groove.
Madden now sends a man in motion, and they'll hand it on. No, keeps it himself. Runs upfield, stood up, thrown back, loss of a yard.
That would have been a good time to go ahead and give it to Guerra. He had a lot of room out there to the left side.
Yeah, Daniel Yancey, again, we've been saying his name all afternoon long on the defensive side, slowing down Madden.
Quickly, the drive comes up with a critical 3rd and 5 for the Sharyland Rattlers. 9:33 to go in the third quarter. 17-7 the score. Snap back to Madden's a good one. Wants to throw. Ton of time, ton of room left side. Should get a first down out of this. Sideline, first down inside the 30.
Let's go ahead and give this offensive line a ton of credit, giving him all time to throw. And the secondary for the Madison side, good coverage, but again, Madden doing what he does best, tucking it and running.
That's an 11-yard gain. He picked up a great block by a receiver out there as well, peeling back for that hit. First down for the Rattlers at the 34 of the Mavericks. Madden to throw again. Left side, low pass, caught. A high tackle on Gonzalez.
So Michael Gonzalez is kind of filling a Wes Welker type of role. He's taking those short routes, and he's made a lot of things happen. He's got quite a few catches today.
That's your tailback that's lined up out there in the slot position. 2nd and 9 for the Rattlers. 8:57 to go in the third quarter. Madden to throw again. Looking downfield. Flushed out of the pocket. Has some time. Got a pass off. Caught inside the 20 by Garza. Sidesteps a man out of bounds at the 19.
Tremendous tremendous throw on the run. He was on the move. That is not an easy throw to make, and that is not an easy catch to make by guess who? Brandon Garza.
Who other than Brandon Garza, Joe? Phenomenal grab yet again. He's been their go-to guy.
I like the patience of these receivers, understanding they got to keep these routes alive and not just stand still in the secondary. First down play in the red zone. Madden runs this time, through a tackle, through another, sideline 5, dives, end zone. He's in, touchdown, Lance Madden, 80 yards.
Garza, did you see the block that he put to open the way for Madden? Superman diving into the end zone. Huge touchdown for the Rattlers.
Big time run there, right? He saw that. He saw the seam there on the outside. He took it, and it was just a fantastic effort to get into the end zone.
That is an impressive second half opening drive for the Sharyland Rattlers. Lance Madden took him downfield. A lot of confidence there. Convert on fourth down. Convert on 3rd and 5. Ultimately get the score.
I like to think I have a little something to do with that. I told him that's what they had to do right there, Joe.
Extra point. Good by the Rattlers. 17-14. One score ball game. Mavericks going to get their hands on the football to start their first drive.
And they had to get points there, all kidding aside, and they did. And they came out with just confidence. You didn't see that, nobody was tentative. Everybody's making blocks, helping each other out, everybody doing their job. That's the result, a great drive to start the second half.
2 years ago, we were fortunate enough to watch the Harlingen Cardinals advance to the 4th round. And do you get the feel that Sharyland now is in that type of scenario, that realizing we can play with these guys?
Yeah, and a couple of stops defensively from this team. Like Armando said, they can do it. They can line up with this team, and you know what? They haven't been able to force a turnover yet. So maybe this Madison squad is due a turnover.
So, 8.5 minutes to go. They took some time off the clock, which was good. Sustained their drive. Now let's see what the defense can do. They're rested. They're pretty fresh now. Let's see if they can get the ball back to the offense and keep them in this groove.
Rattlers have outgained the Mavericks 257 to 201 in total offense. You look at it one perspective, 201 yards, that's a half. That's a lot of football, a lot of offense by the Mavericks. But realistically, Sharyland, their defense was right there. Rattlers to kick it off, Mavericks to return the kick.
I think all the momentum slowly shifting towards that Sharyland side, and especially with a touchdown like that, that's one of those get up and go type of scores.
Teeing it up as Izagiri was injured earlier. He's there to kick this one off, and he sends it over the return man's head into the end zone, and that's an effective kick once again by Izagiri.
Yes, indeed. You prevent any type of big play coming because it's all about the momentum that we talked about, Kevin, and it's about keeping it. Don't give it back with a bad snap. Don't give it back with a bad drive. Keep it, sustain it, and now they give their defense a chance to do just that.
Cody Ennis trots back onto the football field. How big of a first half did he have controlling things for the Mavericks?
Yeah, phenomenally, both through the air and on the ground. Like I said, he's one of those tough quarterbacks to bring down, so we'll see what he can do in this second half. First time he gets his hands on the football.
Sets up with DJ Smith, the up back. The deep man is Dominique Daniels out of an I formation for the Madison Mavericks on first down. Play action, Ennis to swing a pass out, dropped. That had a lot of yardage coming up.
A lot. He'd still be running right now. Dodge a bullet there for Sharyland, but these are the types of little breaks that you need if you're going to get back in the game and keep momentum. So huge break for Sharyland, but Madison wants to have that one back.
I think DJ Smith was kind of looking towards downfield instead of hauling in that football first. He had a lot of real estate in front of him. 2nd
and 10 after the incompleted pass. Ennis now 5 of 10 for 81 yards. Shotgun formation. Hands the ball off to Daniels, bounces it outside, up in it, overhead, he lands on his head.
Ryan Montalvo,
about a 4-yard gain.
He's been all over the place, and he great tackle there to prevent a bigger gain there. Montalvo's been all over the place, Kevin.
And I think that's the unsung story about this Sharyland team, is just how hard-hitting this defense has been all year. 3rd and 5. Mavericks with the football. 8:09 to go in the third quarter, leading 17-14. Sharyland defense showing pressure coming up the middle. Ennis takes a snap. They pick up the blitz. Gets the pass away. It's caught, but it's covered, and down he goes. No gain.
Justin Harris was there right away. He read that play all the way, Joe.
Yeah, if it would look to be a simple screen route, Harris just jumped that route. Really, these are sharks smelling blood in the water. I think these Rattlers are waking up.
3 and out. Punt time for the Madison Mavericks with 7:38 to go in the third quarter. And again, Armando, you talk to coaches that will break it down into 6-minute segments and say, I want to win this.
Absolutely.
Well, the first 6 minutes here in the third quarter, Sharyland.
And they won the first 6 minutes of the game, so they just got to sustain that. You know, they had a chance to score in their second drive.
Nice snap. Ennis did a great job of getting it. Gets the punt away. It takes a roll inside the 40. That's an athletic move by a senior punter.
Yes, indeed. Yes, and just to finish that point, Sharyland had a chance to go up and score more points in the first half. They weren't able to do it. Here's another chance. Golden opportunity right here. They got to take advantage.
You've got momentum. You got the touchdown. You got the stop.
Momentum, and when are they going to take their shot downfield? Extend that vertical passing game.
Again, we talked about it pre-game. I don't think you have to. I don't think you need to get baited up into taking that long shot deep. There's playmakers back there, and there's real estate available. Take what's given to you and get some points out of it. Chrysler in to run the quarterback. Empty backfield for him. Well, what a night he's had. 12 of 17 for 127 yards and a touchdown. Out of the shotgun formation on first down. Drops back to throw. Ton of time. Pressured. Runs up the middle. Hit high and a tackle made.
Yeah, maybe escaped the face mask penalty there. That was C.J. Reese. C.J. Reese, the 6'4" defensive end, has been wreaking havoc along that defensive line for these Mavericks.
3-yard gain for Chrysler. 2nd and 7 for the Sharyland Rattlers. Shotgun formation once again. Quick pass. Right side dropped.
When we talk about keeping the momentum, these are the types of things that, you know, they hold you back, Joe. You know, you're making headway here. A 3-and-out here would not be good right now, especially with this win. I mean, they need to take advantage of that.
Jaeger Chrysler had the hot hand earlier. He's now missed in 4 in a row going back to the end of the third quarter. Wants to throw again here. Drops back, gonna run up the middle. Slides forward for a first down.
Yeah, a huge first down, Joe. And one thing I mentioned at halftime was third down. Can they convert? Can they move the chains? They did it right there. First down, Rattlers.
You just made good decisions all afternoon, Joe.
That was a great run right there. Chrysler now 9 carries for 30 yards from the 49-yard line. Defense nearly jumps off sides. Chrysler to throw a pass. It's picked off. Touchdown coming up. Pick 6 for the Madison Mavericks. That's Daniel Yancey. We saw it earlier. They had made that adjustment. This time they make the 6.
Yancey really reading the quarterback like a book. Intercepted that quick screen pass. Londes was the intended wide receiver. And boys, just like that, the Mavericks can go up by 10 right here.
I just said he made great decisions all afternoon. That one was, I mean, it was a great play by Madison. You know, give credit to where it was due, but you're right. I mean, they were sitting on that, Kevin, and they were ready for that one.
Well, the way that play is designed, that quarterback, there's no thinking about that. There's snap, throw, and expect that someone's going to be there. And so the defense that's a halftime adjustment. Extra point good. Timeout on the field. Mavericks back on top by 10. This is high school football on digital subchannel 4.2 and valleycentral.com. Yeah. Back here at Buccaneer Stadium, and what was an all Sharyland second half in the blink of about 10 seconds turned right back into a Madison comfortable 10-point lead.
And what's important here is don't get down, Joe. I mean, they're going to get the ball back. They've shown they can move the ball. Just go back to what you were doing earlier and get these points back.
Returnable kick this time. Rattlers down the left side across the 35-yard line to the 36.
Again, the Rattlers are in familiar territory at halftime. They were down by 10. They were able to, on that opening drive, go down, get a score, cut it back to 3. So you can take a deep breath. Again, you stay within your game plan. You're right. Don't make anything fancy. You're down by 10. Plenty of time on the clock. Get this ball moving and get in the end zone again.
And with the exception of now one play on defense, what has Madison done to make you think that they can beat the Sharyland team in the second half?
Right, absolutely right.
Lance Madden back in at quarterback. His first drive of the second half moved the team right downfield, punched it in the end zone. Hands it off this time, running play left side, and that's going to go for maybe a yard for Michael Gonzalez.
You see more of the run-oriented attack with Madden, but he was able to move the ball earlier. So let's see what they dial up for him. Let's see if they can just get him back into that rhythm he was in earlier.
Second down, 9 yards to go. Madden to throw, looks, middle field, got a receiver, and close to first down yardage, about a yard short.
And Morales on that reception, and I'll say it once and I'll say it again, they're really exploiting this middle of the defense here, and it's been really successful for Sharyland.
8-yard completion, third, less than a yard to go. Madden runs it himself, got a first down, made a nice move. Look out, foot race, Lance Madden, and they're not going to catch him today. Inside the 5, touchdown, Lance Madden, 55 yards.
He stuck his foot in the ground, made that one cut to the outside, and he was gone. Tremendous run by Lance Madden.
And it's all going to start up front. They got the defense to bait into the fake run, and Madden with a phenomenal run getting into the end zone. And again, just like that, which went from 10 to now could be a 3-point lead. The Rattlers get on the board.
And I'm going to say it again. Other than one play, what has Madison done in the second half to make you believe they can win this football game?
Confidence back. It was gone for a second. Now it's back.
Extra point coming up for the Sharyland Rattlers, and now suddenly a number is starting to catch your attention more and more. 336 of total offense compared to 206. And the comparison, extra point, off the upright, made it through.
So we're back to a 3-point ball game, and these Mavericks defensively are kind of scratching their heads saying, well, we could slow down Chrysler. Oh, wait, they got Lance Madden now that has that dimension to run the football. So all momentum again back on the Sharyland side.
Now it seems Lance Madden, maybe perhaps the one with the hot legs, I guess.
Madden, 8 carries, 94 yards, 8 of 10, 80 yards passing the ball. Yeah, scratch your head and say, where's Diego Chrysler?
Maybe
resting comfortably.
There's a method to the madness for Ron Adame. I mean, that's why he's down there, and that's why I'm up here.
Well, earlier in the season, when they started out the year with the two quarterbacks, everyone was questioning who's going to be it, and he never played his hand. He said, I'm going to go with who's got the hot hand. Well, then the injury occurred. Madden went down, Chrysler took over, and now suddenly both.
I was at that game, week 0 against Brownsville Hanna, and I was like, wait a second, who's the starting quarterback for the Rattlers? Is it Madden? Is it Chrysler?
Kickoff coming up by the Sharyland Rattlers. A gamble?
I better just not say anything. I've been wrong quite a bit today, but
you kick this football away, get another touchback, trust your defense. Momentum's with the Rattlers right now.
Gary's done a good job of getting this ball into the end zone and away from the return men. This time they've got 2 lightning bolts back there. Byron Daniels wearing number 4 on the left hash mark. Jamichael Brown on the right hash mark. Either guy capable of doing some magical things on a kick return for the Madison Mavericks. Here's Gary to kick it off. The left-footed kicker for the Sharyland Rattlers. Booms this one into the end zone, not returnable.
And again, the special teams, like Armando said, use that to your advantage. Don't give them any shot to get a kick return. So the ball's going to be at the 25, and this crowd from the Sharyland side has really woken up this second half.
And I'm looking at the crowd of the Madison Mavericks, and Armando Garza, quiet, eerily quiet.
Not much movement over there at all, except from the dance team over here. But right in the middle grandstand section, nobody's moving right now.
Not at all. First down play, yet they lead. 24-21, Mavericks on top. Ennis will go under center. They've had the ball with one possession, went 3 and out on that. Pitch out, right side, and not much there. Nice tackle on Dominic Daniels.
Yeah. Dominic Daniels on that carry, and Ruben Tornado Torreño on the tackle.
Got a yard and a half. Second down and long.
Starting to see a little bit of that swagger, guys. This defense, they're pumping up the crowd. They got a little more pep in their step, so we'll see how they can channel this.
Guard deep on the routes. 4:47 to go in the third quarter. Ennis out of a shotgun formation, straight drop back to throw. Up the middle, gonna run, looks for a block, got a great block, makes a nice move, takes it left sideline, upended, did not get a first down.
No, he didn't, and that's the way you got to tackle this guy. Ennis, a big, strong quarterback. Davila really cut him from underneath his legs. It's taught at the peewee level. Never tackle up high, tackle down low.
How about the way he read those blocks?
Man, he just kind of weaved in and out. He's got great vision.
Third and short, a yard to go. Ennis will go under center on this play. Drives forward. Got a surge. Rattlers trying to win the battle. Mavericks going to get it, though. First down.
I could have bet you a steak dinner that a quarterback sneak was coming, and sure enough.
So the Rattler fans, the Bluebirds are out here at Buccaneer Stadium.
It's a great second effort by him, though. He lunged over. He didn't give up on the play. He was met initially. Got enough for the first down.
First and 10 play for the Mavericks of Madison. Ennis under center. Play action, wants to throw. Looking deep. Right side. Up for grabs. It's caught. Inside to 30, 25. This is going to be a touchdown, Mavericks, and that's a heck of a play by Byron Daniels.
Daniels, full display of athleticism. They're leaping, making the grab. One of the better catches we've seen all afternoon.
Yeah, he just plucked that out of the air. It was great coverage. Ryan Montalvo was right there. But, that was just a great play made.
That's a 62-yard touchdown strike from Cody Ennis to Byron Daniels, and the Mavericks back up by 9, looking for the extra point. He's right there. And it's good. 31-21, Mavericks back on top.
Yeah, and again, now the Rattlers are down again by 10, so let's see what their offense can do. Now the question is, Madden, Chrysler, Madden, what's going to happen? But I think it's going to come down to the defense. Can the defense force a turnover or maybe, heck, even a punt?
Your offense has got to come right back out here and counterpunch now.
And they've shown the ability to do that, which is a good sign. They're playing well right now, too, so we're right back where we started from a few minutes ago. Like Kevin said, they're down 10. You still have 3 minutes and 34 seconds with the win at your back. Let's make something happen here.
And again, on that coverage, I don't know what you could do differently from a defensive back perspective. Armando Garza, man-to-man with the man in front of the man,
yep.
and yet just a tremendous catch.
Great. Byron Daniels, like I said, he went and snatched that thing away. And then he had the speed to get it to the end zone. There's nothing you can do to stop that. That was just a fantastic play.
Now the Madison Mavericks, fans making a little noise, back up by 10. And again, you've asked this Sharyland Rattler team to summon up the spirit to come back from behind to double digits. So now I'm going to say there's been 2 plays in the second half that makes you believe Mavericks can win this. Defensive pick 6, and then that 62-yard strike. Rattlers on the kick return. Left side, this is going to be from the 20. Out across the 30-yard line. That's where they'll start this drive.
They pretty much kept it away from Sharyland. He hasn't really had too many opportunities this afternoon.
Yeah, and he's one of those players, Armando, that you got to, put a game plan together for. Landes, he plays all 3 aspects of the game in special teams, defense, and offense, but I think where he shines the most is in the special teams, and you're right, they've really kept that football away from him.
Rattlers will send Lance Madden out to run the quarterback.
And I think this is the right call, Joe. He's scored on both drives that he's generated, so, got to keep him in there. He's in the zone right now.
First and 10, 3:28 to go in the third quarter of play. Out of the shotgun. Madden to throw, now going to run, got hit, hung on to the football, but got sacked.
Yeah, just great pressure from Stephen Kyle, who really just broke through that line and put the pressure on for the first time we've seen in this second half.
We'll see if Lance Madden has another big-time conversion left. He's made a couple of big ones on the scoring drives.
Lost 3 on that one. 2nd and 13 coming up for the Rattlers. Man in motion. They'll hand it off, double reverse. Here comes Sharyland. He's got a wall of blockers. Sideline, 30, bumped out of bounds, ran a long way to get 3 yards.
We just talked about getting him the football like Kevin alluded to. He's one of those players, you got to get him out in space. That little razzle-dazzle right there, got him on the outside. You get a dangerous player like that in space and good things will happen.
Got the lost yards back, gained 3 more. 6-yard gain for Madden, for Landez. 3rd and a long 7, call it 8 yards to go. Madden rolls out to throw. Got rid of the ball, tipped, intercepted. 2nd pick of the second half for the Mavericks. On a tip drill, Jordan Brown picked it off.
Jordan Brown, Kevin. It was Johnny on the spot right there and tip balls, and those are the kinds of breaks you can't have go against you, and we're starting to see a shift in luck there, I guess you want to call it that.
Yeah, the pass was thrown a little bit behind of Landez, so we had to kind of reach backwards and grab it with one hand, and the old tip drill, and that time it fell in favor of the Mavs.
So now the Mavericks will take over. Football spotted at the 30-yard line of the Sharyland Rattlers, and do you go for the jugular here with another deep ball?
Why not? They're lining up in the eye here, but I'm not sure. I mean, Jim Street has a lot of options at his disposal right now.
Cody Ennis pitches it back left side. Dominique Daniels taken down after a short gain.
One way to look at it is, okay, we have under 2.5 to go here. Let's keep it away from Sharyland. Let's not let them have the win.
So right around the tail end of this third quarter, we've seen a lot of mix and match. Kind of like a boxing match, guys. One throws a left hook, the other comes up with a right uppercut, whatever you want to call it. And right now it's in favor of the Mavericks.
Daniels exits. Alex Arden checks into the ball game at the tailback spot for the Madison Mavericks. He'll run it this time off a right guard. Got a couple. 3rd down coming up.
So a 3rd down coming up, and we've talked about this before. Are they in 4-down territory? Or what do you guys think so far? You put the nail in the coffin?
3rd and 2 on the ground. You're averaging nearly 5 yards per carry. Up 10.
They want to go up 17 right here, guys. There's no question.
Shotgun formation for Ennis. 2 receivers right side. Wide right is Byron Daniels. Ennis going to run himself. Takes on a tackler. Got down to the 20. That's enough for a 1st down.
You kick a field goal here, you go up 13. It's 2 point. It's a 2-score game. You go up 17. It's a 3-score game.
I think right now Madison, well, they're going to say short of 1st down yardage, so not a kind spot that time for Cody Ennis. Here's your answer, Kevin Naro. Yes, it's 4-down territory for the Madison Mavericks. They'll go out of a shotgun for Cody Ennis. Going to let him read a little bit before he runs this football. Man in motion right to left. Ennis leaning forward, going to run. Got a 1st down and a bunch more. Makes a nifty move. He's into the end zone. Cody Ennis, touchdown. Backbreaker there, 21 yards.
Yeah, it's a nice run. DJ Smith, that last block downfield really opened up a huge hole for Ennis to get in the end zone. And you're right, Joe, a big backbreaker there,
And that's the right call there, guys. I mean, you wind in your face. You're not going to kick a 38-yard field goal. Jim Street rolled the dice, and he got a lot more.
And if Sharyland won the first 6 minutes of the second half, in the second 6 minutes, how about this? 21 points with this extra point for the Madison Mavericks, and they're now up 38-21.
That just goes to show how deflating a mistake can be. A tip ball. Any kind of little breakdown can come back to haunt you in the 3rd round of the playoffs.
Right, let's take over after this kickoff. Coming up on Digital Subchannel 4.2 and ValleyCentral.com. Back here on ValleyCentral.com, and the kickoff by the Madison Mavericks is going to bounce out of bounds. So the Rattlers should get good field position on this exchange, but down 17 points, 49 seconds to go. It's not panic time, Armando Garza, but it's got to score time real quick.
If they don't come away with points here, it'd be tremendously hard to get back in this game. But heads up play there, Justin Harris lets the ball go out of bounds. He could have caught that.
So do you take it or do you make him re-kick? Back here after the kickoff by the Madison Mavericks goes out of bounds, Rattlers get a decision, and Mondo Garza, I think they're going to make him re-kick this football.
I think so too. You got to try to get it to Sharyland, try to get a big return on special teams, try to make something happen here, guys.
Last time Landez actually ran away from the kickoff. It looked like it was in a direction he could have received that. He turned into a blocker instead of a return man. So they would have had the ball at the 35. With the re-kick, Madison has to tee it off at their 35. Up 17 points here. And now look at the room between the front line and the return men for the Rattlers. If I'm Madison and thinking gamble time, you got good numbers on your favor if you go onside kick here.
Or perhaps one of those dodgeball type kicks where you kick it as hard as you can and hope it ricochets off of someone.
Now the Mavericks are going to have to get a hold man because the football won't stay on the tee, which again gives you an indication how much wind is out there these teams are having to contend with. Later on tonight on 4.2, it'll be the Port Isabel Tarpons taking on the Lavernia Bears. We'll be on the air with that one. Pre-game show around 7:10, something like that, for that 7:30 kickoff. On ValleyCentral.com, Edinburgh North kicks off their game at 7 against Cibolo Steel. Here, kickoff by the Mavericks. Short kick, returned by the Rattlers. They'll give up ground. Now they'll pitch it out. Here comes Landez on the fly. Cross the midfield stripe and upended at the 46.
Yeah, there he is. Sean Landez, a wise decision there to go ahead and pitch that one back. And you got a little taste of what Landez can do there on the special teams.
Well, I'll say this. For Coach Ron Adami, he's not leaving anything at home saying, I wish I would have tried this to win this football game.
And now you're on the 45-yard line, 40 seconds to go. You can take a couple of shots here. I'm not saying aim for the end zone, but try a 10, 15, 20-yard pass in hopes of sticking with that win. You can do it right now.
Diego Chrysler is not the quarterback. It will be Lance Madden. Picked off on his last drive. Running play, he's going to keep it himself. Tries to get to the outside, got out of bounds, steps out at the 37.
Yeah, Laredo Guerra, just a simple tug of the defensive back there. That makes all the difference.
And that's where now suddenly a read option type quarterback style is playing into the favor of the Sharyland Rattlers. Good decisions earlier made by Diego Chrysler out of the pocket. Madden now running the football, bounces it outside again, makes a move, stepped out of bounds, got a first down, and that'll kill you from a defensive perspective trying to chase a guy like this down.
And another heads-up play, getting out of bounds. 29 seconds to go. I think Ron Adami knows that it'd be a lot better to score now with the win at your back.
Just short of a first down by about 6 or 8 inches. Third down coming up for the Sharyland Rattlers. Madden out of a shotgun. 29 seconds left in the third. Takes a snap, hands the ball off, and that's not going to get there. Stutter step by Gonzalez. Never got any momentum going forward. Fourth down coming up for the Rattlers. Fourth quarter coming up as well.
Yeah, James Barrows, the first man there to make the tackle, and a big third and short coming up.
Fourth and short coming up for the Rattlers. Empty backfield. Well, now they'll keep Gonzalez back there for Madden. Running play right side. Got a first down. Fumble the football. It's picked up by the Mavericks. This is an advanceable ball, or is it? No. They blew it dead on the recovery, correct? Down by contact, so that should be a first down. I don't want to see the review on that because if there were one, I think the Rattlers would lose the football. Anyway, we've come to the end of the third quarter. 38-21, Mavericks with the lead. Rattlers battling back on Digital Subchannel 4.2 and ValleyCentral.com. back here on Valley Central, and after the quarter break, we start the fourth quarter with a attempted pass play by the Sharyland Rattlers. Goes incomplete. Second and 10 coming up for the Sharyland Rattlers. And back here we go. Final 12 minutes playing out in somebody's season. Madison Mavericks on top. Rattlers of Sharyland wanting to throw. Madden got away from one man, got away from another, got away from another. Now turns it upfield and got a first down.
Well, other than that, Christian Martinez was running wide open down the left, waving his hand, I'm open, but a good run there from Madden.
He'll gain 12. That's all Lance Madden right there.
That's all the athleticism that he brings to the table.
Now, I say that. There was blocking going on because I saw some Madison Mavericks get up and actually give some high fives to some of the blocking from that offensive line of the Sharyland Rattlers. Pass play Madden. Pump fake, gets it away. Not much there.
And again, dangerous that moment. We both saw that coming. Again, go ahead and break it down. We're on the same page.
Saw almost another pick six.
Exactly.
Good pump fake there, but Madison still was able to sniff it out.
Landez on the catch, but that actually lost 3. Second and 13 coming up. Madden to throw here. Has time, scrambles a little bit now, gets rid of the ball, overthrew, incomplete.
He was under serious duress there. Try to float it over there on the right side, but now it's a long way to the first down.
Third and 13.
But you got to get points here. No points here, and I think it's done.
17-point lead right now for the Madison Mavericks. Sharyland Rattlers, 12-0 on the season. Same case last year when they came up here. Shotgun formation, 2 guys back for protection. Here comes an all-out blitz. They set up a screen. Caught by Landez. Has to give up a lot of room. A bunch of room. More room. Turning. Gets rid of the pass. Forward. It's going to be caught. And down the right side. Is there a penalty on the play? Yes, there is.
Wow. You can cue the circus music.
I don't know. Was that an illegal fourth pass?
There's a lot of guys with their hands on their knees on the Madison Mavericks side. Well, their defense is spent.
I don't know what you rule there.
I don't know. I mean, it just depends on where one did
before anyone went out of bounds or was tackled. It's going to be against Sharyland. They had to make sure where the catch was made. He's done.
There are 2 forward passes. Either a forward pass. Offense. 5 yards for the spot of the foul. Lost it down. 3rd down.
And that's going to be from back here at the 37, 36-yard line.
I thought it was 4th down or 3rd down, so now it's 4th down.
What, the loss of down?
So loss it down, it is going to be 4th down.
Mm-hmm.
Now the official all the way back to the 36-yard line. That's where I'm going to spot this one. But if you're Sean Landez, I mean, give credit to him. What do you do there? It's just
well, all I know is there's some defensive guys out there that are some tired fellas, and if it wasn't 4th and 70,000 yards to go, you might go for it here.
Here on the playground's a mission. That would have been a great play. No doubt about it.
Oof.
It's 4th, and is that right? 55 yards to go?
That looks about right.
Okay, that's a first. 4th and over 50.
Wow.
Yeah, because he threw the pass from the 35, and it's 5 yards off of that.
Yep.
So usually when you run back, nothing good comes out of it. But
and you can hear that Madison band start to cue up.
Now the Rattlers will bring in the punt team.
On 4th and 55?
They realize that it's 4th down.
We got an updated score from Judson and United. Looks like the winner here will go on to face Converts Judson. They lead 55-14, 2:43 in the 3rd quarter. So Judson really have taken over that ball game.
One time it was a 14-7 United lead. Is that right?
One time it was a 14-6 ball game. Judson decided to wake up a little bit. Got that smelling salt.
Here Madison leads 38-21. Sharyland in punt formation. Takes a Rattler roll and it will nearly get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, 4th and 55 is not 4 down territory.
The official stat at my San Antonio high school, they tweeted, so Sharyland just completed a pass for minus 37 yards. That's what that last pass was.
That's exactly what it is.
Very unorthodox.
That'll obscure some stats for you. How about if you're Lance Madden? He threw a completed pass and then turns around and watches as he goes now to 10 of 15 for 40 yards in the passing game. Madison at the line, Cody Ennis under center. 10:43 left in the ball game. They lead by 17. Big hitting going on. Alex Arden on the carry.
Number 26, Alex Ardwin on the carry.
Now, if you're Sharyland, I mean, you're looking to make something happen. You're looking to strip a football, punch a football out. Just be aware of where the ball is. I don't anticipate too many passes coming from the Mavericks here.
No, they'll try to move this football downfield, keep it in the field of play. I would expect a heavy dose of Cody Ennis coming up as well, running the football. Already 15 carries, 72 yards on the day. Keeps Arden in the backfield. Hands it off to Arden. Hit. Wrapped up. Short gain. 3rd and about 3.5 coming up. If you want a silver lining out of this, get a 3 and out. Get that defense back on the field. That Madison defense is breathing heavy.
A lot of hands on hips and knees on that Sharyland play, I guess we can call it. I still don't know what that was.
Never seen it before.
3rd down and 4 for the Madison Mavericks.
But the fact that he completed it is just phenomenal. I mean, I'm still thinking about that play.
Ennis takes a snap. Looked like movement, no penalty. Drives forward, should have enough for a first down.
There he is. There he is again. Sharyland, first man on the tackle.
Looked like Arden jumped in the backfield ahead of the snap, but nothing doing. Chains will move. 9:15 left in this ball game.
No hurry at all for Madison.
They let the play clock run down under 10 that last snap. Currently 15 as they break out of the huddle. Under 9 minutes left in the ball game. They're up 17. Down to 5. They'll take the snap. Handoff, and that's Daniels. He'll gain a yard, maybe 2.
So as this game just progresses, we're starting to see, just again the physicality of this team, on the offensive side. Along that offensive line, Joe, you and I talked in the pregame on how strong these tackles are for San Antonio Madison.
Madison with 320 yards of offense. Sharyland 321, even including a negative 37-yard pass play. 2nd down play coming up for Cody Ennis. Wants to throw and got it out in the flats, and here comes Jamichael Brown.
Daniels with a nice block on that far side of the field. Just really too many weapons offensively. You got Jamichael Brown, then you got Ellis, the quarterback, and then you got Byron Daniels.
And you could see from up here, a coach just yelled at Brown, great run, great first down, but next time stay in bounds.
Yep. 8:10 to go in the ball game. Football now out across the 48-yard line of the Madison Mavericks. And about a 5-minute span in the 3rd quarter changed the complexion of this ball game. Handoff, Daniels makes a nice move. Upended, that's a 9-yard gain, maybe 10.
Yeah, another fancy run from Daniels, and it's been on display all afternoon. Just a 1-2 punch coming from these Mavericks.
Well, he's now got 13 carries, quietly 91 yards.
7 yards a pop.
And the running game for the Mavericks now at 186 on the ground, 5.2 yards per carry. I formation for Ennis. Running play, that goes nowhere for Alex Arden.
And now, of course, time is Sharyland's worst enemy right now.
They're going to try to clear this stadium pretty quick after this ball game. They got another game tonight here.
I believe it's Laredo Alexander playing tonight,
Not too sure.
from what I was told.
Second down play coming up. Clock running with 7:10 to go in the ball game. Reminding you, coming up later tonight, Port Isabel Tarpons taking on Lavernia's Bears.
Good to see that Seawall defense full effect.
Second down play for the Mavericks. That's busted play. Goes for a yard.
Busted play, 1 yard, but most importantly, clock keeps moving.
Rattlers do have 3 timeouts remaining, but they got to come up with 3 scores. Not sure you can come up with 3 possessions right now in this 6:42 remaining of this game.
Excuse me, Kevin. In these types of ball games, and then we bring it up time and time again, but you either have to play flawless or play near flawless and get a couple of breaks. And for a while there, Sharyland had that going, but then they made a couple of mistakes.
Third down play coming up for Cody Ennis. Will they put the ball in the air? Yes, but it's a short pass and not much there. Daniels on the catch. Now you might want to use one of your timeouts.
The point I was about to bring up is what we're seeing here today is those high-octane offenses, spread them out, slinging around. And tonight, you mentioned the Port Isabel game. I said it's going to be an old 1950s, a sluggish football game with both teams that love to run the football in Lavernia and Port Isabel.
Ennis going to run to the sideline. His coaching staff probably going to let this clock run down to zeros. Call a timeout. Play clock down to 10, game clock at 5:41, and that's what's going to happen. They'll call a timeout. They may even take a 5-yard penalty here. They'll call a timeout.
San Antonio Madison is taking the first timeout in the second half.
That's their first timeout. Sharyland Rattlers, go ahead.
No, so you can just see, Madison, they're a seasoned team, and they have a seasoned coach, and all afternoon I've talked about Jim Streety and how long he's been there and how much success he's had and how many Valley teams they've sent home. And it looks like he's going to chalk up another one here. Like I said, 1990, the guy named Coy Detmer was the last time he lost to a Valley team.
And here's what you look at if you want to start comparing what's coming up a little bit later on just across town when Edinburgh North tees off against Steele. We're looking at the only team that beats Steele. We're looking at the only team that beat Edinburgh North.
It's ironic, isn't it? You're right. This team did beat Cibolo Steele in week 1, and hey, you can circle that as a great win.
So how big a wall does Edinburgh North have to climb? That's what I'm getting at.
Talk about playing flawless. They'd have to have everything.
They're going to have to cause some turnovers.
Most definitely. And they have the potential to do that. Nobody's saying they can't. If there's a defense that can play physical and make things happen, it's Edinburgh North.
Well, they forced 4 turnovers against this Sharyland team.
The former Rattler, Joey Esquivel, a prime linebacker at that position along with the Night Train. Slim chance Edinburgh North has defensively.
Fourth down play coming up for the Madison Mavericks. A lot of movement on the line. Penalty flags coming in.
Probably the first mistake they've made all afternoon.
I was going to say, penalty-wise, this has been a relatively clean-played football game.
I'm kind of surprised that they lined up to go for it there. I don't know if they were going to try a hard count. You're up 17. You're at the 40-yard line. It was 4th and 8. Interesting call there.
They really did have the offense on the field. That wasn't the punt team. Now it's the punt team in there. And it's given a little more room to work with. 2 return men back for the Rattlers. Not sure either one of them are ever going to get this one. Another high snap. Ennis gets it away. Landez going to let it bounce. Inside the 5, down at the 2.
Been that kind of day, huh?
Yeah, when it rains, it pours for the Rattlers.
And in about 12 minutes, this game has just turned from a, hey, what if, to wait till next year.
But like Armando said, he's like, man, I've seen this time and time again. It's just one little play that really shifts the entire football game. Coming into the second half, the Rattlers really came out rocking, and then you get that pick 6 that really changed the whole outcome of this football game.
Because to me and to many fans, this isn't about Sharyland not being in the same class with Madison. They played with them this afternoon.
They did.
But you need to play a certain way and not make mistakes and get those breaks to beat a team like this.
Out of the end zone. Madden runs for his life. That's an intercepted pass.
Yeah, just not a very good decision there.
That's when you start pressing, Kevin. You start trying to make things happen. You're down and late in the game. You want to try to do something that's a little bit beyond your means, and right there, that was a throw that shouldn't have been made, and now Madison's right here, point blank.
Latrell Sledge, the 165-pound senior, picks that one off for the Mavericks inside the 8-yard line. 5:18 remaining in this ball game. And as I look at this roster for the Sharyland Rattlers, multiple seniors on this squad, but with the split and the opening of the new school in Sharyland, is this the last we'll see of a dominating Sharyland Rattler football team?
It's hard to say. The splits affect districts differently. I know obviously everybody points to La Jolla, but theirs was unique because they split into 2 high schools the same year, or into 3 high schools, excuse me. So the approach will be interesting. Some teams like to go the JV route and just go with freshmen and give the seniors the option to stay. So seeing how all that plays out will be interesting.
Incompleted pass, second down coming up. We're on the run play, second down, and they'll run it again. Ennis, right side end zone, touchdown.
Yep, Ennis into the end zone for the second time this half, and again, outcome, the floodgates have opened against these Rattlers. Now a 44-21 lead, and like Armando said, this Rattler team, it's not that they're in the same class as Madison, but they have come toe-to-toe with a very tough football team, and we've seen who's this team Madison has beaten this year and who they lost to, so they have some very tough competitors. And Joe, mind you, they finished third in their district.
Third in their district, and what's going to happen, Armando, you know this well. People are going to, that didn't watch this football game, that didn't witness this football game, scoreboard, okay, 44, 45, 21, that's what I thought.
And up in San Antonio, they love to call it Valley Week. It's a free pass to the 4th round because 5A teams in San Antonio don't lose to Valley teams. And, to look at it objectively, I mean, was there a question that San Antonio was head and shoulders above the Valley in recent years? No question. They have more talent. There's a lot more people in San Antonio and a lot more high schools, 5A high schools, that is. But the gap has been closed, though. I mean, there's no question. Harlingen did it a couple years ago. Sharyland was in this ball game for the most part. It's not a level of we're just way better than you. But when you get to the 3rd round of the playoffs, everybody's good. They're there for a reason. You can't make mistakes. You can't let opportunities slip by, or else things will snowball, and that's exactly what's happened today.
So the Rattlers will send the kickoff return team back on the football field. 4:31 in the afternoon. We got a 7:30 kickoff. Everything's set already up there at Cal Allen, and by the time that one kicks off, Edinburgh North will probably be nearing halftime. So it may be all eyes on Port Isabel if Edinburgh North can't pull the upset against Cibolo Steel as the last team standing. Landez on the return for the Rattlers. Makes 2 nice moves, but they are there to contain those lanes well. Scouting this Rattler kick return team. The Maverick cover that well.
So now they're going to be, Sharyland will fall to 24-2.
In 2 years under Ron Adame.
And those 2 losses come into this Madison team. And, Adame, like you said, those 2 years he's been there, they've won district the last 2 years. And the only team standing in front of Sharyland was really Edinburgh North. And they just really put it on the Cougars back on Halloween night. So other than that, it's obvious that Sharyland is a powerhouse in the Valley.
Sharyland, what do you rebuild on if these seniors come back for next year? The juniors from this year come back. Well, you got quarterback Lance Madden. You got Sean Landez. I don't need to go too much further than that.
I think Chrysler's a junior.
Well,
Chrysler's a senior. They got him listed as a senior. You got him as a junior?
We have him as a junior on here, but
junior. Yeah, Chrysler and Madden. Laredo Guerra, junior. There are guys that are going to return to this football team if it stays intact.
And as Kevin said, I know you guys get to see a little bit more of that western side of the valley, whereas somebody like me, we're in the lower valley, we don't get to see a lot of Sharyland, but I'll let this play go.
Running play here.
But seeing them up close and personal, I mean, I've come away impressed, and Ron Adame has done a great job with this program. I mean, there's no question. that you can tell that this is a team on the rise, and they're going to be dealt with the next couple of years.
Well, especially this year, and because everyone wrote them off. Oh, look at all you lost. That's a new quarterback in the ball game, by the way, for the Rattlers. Making a couple of nice moves, and now down the left side, that's Landez. Landez leapfrogs a man out of bounds. No quit in his heart.
Yeah, look at Lance Madden throwing a couple blocks for his cornered safety kick return man, Landez. Speaking of rosters, I'm looking at the Madison roster. It's pretty scary. I see more juniors than I see seniors. So Madison, again, like Sharyland, they don't rebuild, but they reload.
Here's retool. First down play here. Landez in at quarterback once again. Direct snap to him. He's got some room again. Takes on a tackler at the 30-yard line. 14 more yards.
It's exciting to watch Sharyland with the football in open space. You know, there's special players that have quickness and speed and vision, and you got to get them in open space. And when you see Sharyland out in the open like that, big things are bound to happen.
It's a 14-yard gain. Landez now 5 carries, 50 yards on the day. He stays in at quarterback here. And Landez going to run it again. Spins off the tackler down to the 19-yard line.
So Sean Landez on that carry. So getting around the 3-man mark in the fourth quarter.
Second down play coming up for the Rattlers. 45-21 score. Mavericks on top. Garza was in at quarterback that time. Hands it off to Brett Chin, the junior. Second carry of the day for him.
I mean, now's the time you want to get some of these other guys some action, some snaps, and you know, a lot of these guys will be back next year. You know, just playing 2 minutes in this game it can go a long way mentally for these guys.
That's enough for a first down for the Sharyland Rattlers. They're now at the 15-yard line of the Madison Mavericks. Garza in at quarterback. Hands it off. Chen again. Down to the 10. Chen again to the 10. Say that 3 times.
I didn't know we were writing haikus up here.
He'll gain 4.
It's good to see Sharyland though. They're not packing it in. You know, they're trying to score, and these kids, you know, they're going down to the end.
Landez stays in at quarterback. 2:07 left. Takes a snap, fakes the pass, running left side inside the 5. Thrown out of bounds. First and goal coming up for the Rattlers.
Isaiah Robertson shoving him out of bounds, saving a touchdown for now. And it's just funny that we're starting to see Landez late in this fourth quarter and really seeing what he can do.
Another one of those juniors coming back, Sean Landez.
Yeah, I remember seeing him as a sophomore last year, wreaking some havoc, you know, on the special team side. And special player Sean Landez.
Landez runs this time. Hit, thrown backwards, forward progress. The football comes out late.
Now that is one tired young man, though. He's giving it his all, and there's no doubt about that. All over the field, he's just one of those Swiss Army knife players. Special player he is.
Minute 38 left here. Sharyland Rattlers down 45-21, but trying to punch in the end zone one more time against this Madison Maverick team. Landez left side, cut back up, got hit again. Stopped short of the goal line.
He wants to get into the end zone, guys. Bad. I mean, you can tell he wants it. He's out there fighting, and he's got a couple more cracks at it at least.
Got a couple. Third and goal coming up for the Sharyland Rattlers, who in this game have outgained Madison's Mavericks 399 to 354. 354, decent number to allow defensively. 399, I'd say that's a big number to get against this type of defense. Landez fakes the pass, running play left side, takes on a man, upended, down he goes. Football came loose. I'll tell you what, there is no lack of effort right there.
Well, he just got yard number 400 there, but it wasn't easy either.
No. 250 or 233 on the ground, 167 in the air. Rattler fans making some noise. Maverick fans trying to make some noise. They don't want their defense to allow any more points. Landez at quarterback. Keeps it himself. Up the middle. Dove forward. No indication yet. They'll say no.
Oof.
They're going to mark him just short. Yep, first down, Madison.
And with 19 seconds left, the Madison Mavericks will have to snap it but one time. They led by 10 at halftime. Sharyland twice in the second half cut the lead to 3. A pick six kind of turned the tide on the way this comeback was staged out for Sharyland in the second half.
Big time props to Sharyland on the season. You know, you hate to say this at the end of the season, but you know these guys had a great year, and I know they're disappointed, and I know they're going to use it as fuel for next year. But sometimes it takes a time or 2 or 3 or 4 at this round.
It really does.
Ask Harlingen.
Yeah, it did. So they take a knee, and that's going to do it. This clock will run to zeros. Madison will come across and congratulate Sharyland. And these will be some well-deserved congratulations. This won't be token stuff. They know they played against a football team that gave them a ball game for the better part of 3 quarters.
Congratulations to Madison. You know, like I said, Jim Streety, one of the most respected coaches in South Texas. Been doing it a long time, and he's a classy guy.
Recap this one for you. Final score 45-21. Mavericks beat the Rattlers. Our final timeout. We'll be back and wrap it up from Buccaneer Stadium after this on ValleyCentral.com. Back here at Buccaneer Stadium, Joe Bowling, Armando Garza, and Kevin Naro as it's wrapped up 45-21. Short post game here, fellas. We got to get ready to make it across town, which is easier said than done right now as we're going to watch these fans file out of here and more fans trying to file in. But again, recap it for you. Sharyland Rattlers, arguably the best team in Class 5 in the Rio Grande Valley, and the record demonstrates that they were the best team. They beat Harlingen. They beat Edinburgh North. Anybody else that said the best team in 5A was anything other than Sharyland, that was dispelled. Put on a good show here tonight against this Madison team.
Oh, and they did, and they deserve to be here. You know, they beat a very good Harlingen team, and you know, all year long they were the team to watch. And now this is 2 years now that they felt like this at this juncture. So, like I said earlier, as the game was ending. You know, this is the thing. This is the type of game that the coaching staff, these players, the younger guys, they're going to remember this. And you need more of these games under your belt, unfortunately, to break through to the next level.
Yeah, and maybe just next year they can break on through maybe to the 4th round. As for San Antonio Madison, you know, really what we expected is what we saw. And they got a Conference Judson team in the next round. So, you know, their season's not done yet. You know, our hats off to Coach Adame for, you know, back-to-back district titles. You know, let's give him some credit for that, too. So, Sharyland again, force to be reckoned with.
A nice scene right there. That's Jim Streety walking across the field. He was talking to these Sharyland players. So a classy move. Like I said, he's been doing it a long time. I've talked about him all afternoon, but he's one of the good guys in high school football.
And he knows the difference in what the Valley teams were in years past and suddenly what's starting to evolve and come up into these round 3 games.
Yeah, it's not getting any easier for them, that's for sure. And like I said, today was a game of opportunities, and Sharyland had some. They weren't able to capitalize on others, and then Madison was able to capitalize on theirs that they got. So that's what happens.
And so it's down to 2. Edinburgh North remains alive in the Valley. Port Isabel Tarpons remains alive in the Valley. For Edinburgh North, they kick off at 7 o'clock against Cibolo Steel on ValleyCentral.com. For those Port Isabel Tarpon fans, tune in right back here on Digital Subchannel 4.2 and ValleyCentral.com from Cal Allen Stadium. The trio that just brought you this game, Armando, Kevin, and I will be there for that one as well. Hope you enjoyed this broadcast. Mavericks win this one 45-21. To all the guys that put in the work to get this one on the air, my thanks to you. So long for just a while.